Okay, today I want to do something a little bit different. I want to give you 10 books that are motivational books to help you succeed in your goals in life. These are 10 books that I've read and I enjoy, but more importantly, they're audiobooks so you can listen to them. If you're on your way to work, on your way to school, if you're playing Legos Incredibles, whatever it is, you could be listening to audiobook while you're doing whatever it is you're doing, working out in the garage. Listen to something. Always be feeding your brain. It's a muscle. You got to work it out. That being said, this is no specific order how I'm doing these. These are just 10 books I think you need to read, but there's more books that I do like. If you like these and want to hear the other books that I would recommend, let me know. But I'm more curious to know what books you want to listen to or that you have listened to that you think I need to listen to, and I'll let you know if I've read it or not. And if I do read the book and I think this is an amazing book and needs to be in another video, I'm going to give you credit for it. Okay, enough that said, let's talk about the books. We're not saying best to worst. This is in a random order. The first one is 7 Strategies for Wealth and Happiness, and that's by Jim Rohn. In this book, he's focusing on personal development, goal setting, financial independence. Jim's 7 strategies also includes setting clear goals, seeking knowledge, and surrounding yourself with positive influences to achieve both wealth and happiness. One thing that's kind of hilariously ironic, these motivational books, a lot of them are about money, but it's not necessarily just money, it's your mental state, where you're at mentally. You need that to be sharp and strong. Ironically though, if you can keep that side of your brain strong, the money often follows. Not always, but often it will follow with it. So that's why a lot of these books go hand in hand with your self-improvement, also reflecting on your financial improvement. Speaking of finances, the next one is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Now this one I read a lot of times and it really meant a lot to me, and I feel like obviously I didn't grow up on Hawaii like Kiyosaki did, but it's also, this book was made by Robert Kiyosaki. Some of his newer stuff, I don't know, the whole crypto thing, I'm just going to say, I don't know if it's because of his age or not, but if you go back to his older education videos they did, he has a lot of really good knowledge that he used to give out. That being said, Rich Dad emphasizes on the importance of financial education, investing in assets, and understanding the difference between liabilities and assets. He often says something along the lines is that most financial investors can't tell the difference between their asset and a hole in the ground. But in this book, Robert Kiyosaki talks about his biological dad and his friend's dad, and his biological dad was an educator and his friend's dad was an entrepreneur, and he got wisdom from both of them. It wasn't like just the entrepreneur was the only one that gave him wisdom. He got advice from both of them. So it was very interesting to see different perspectives on life. Very good one. I can't tell you how many times I've read this one. And when I say read, I'm saying audiobook. I almost never read. I do have some of these books, I have paperback and the audiobook, but I almost never read because then it just makes me tired and want to go to sleep. And then also I have ADHD and I have to be multitasking to be productive. The next one on the list is How to Win Friends and Influence People, and that was by Dale Carnegie. And this one, the first time I ever heard of it, it was from my aunt, and she's like, I think you need to read this book. And I secretly took it offensively, like, you're saying I don't know how to make friends, which maybe I don't. I read it anyways, eventually after several months later, and I was pleasantly surprised. It was a really good book, a lot of good advice for mental strength, and then also more importantly, like how to communicate with people and how people are communicating with you. Really good book to read. How to Win Friends and Influence People. And it's not like a manipulative. If you're a narcissist, please don't read that book. It's not like how to manipulate people. Ultimately, we have to influence people every day in things we do. I had to influence you to click on the video. Now I have to influence you to click the like button. Please. But anyways, in this book, he offers timeless advice on interpersonal skills, including how to make people like you, win them over to your way of thinking, and change people without arousing resentment. Key principles focus on genuine interest in others and effectively communicate. So the quote is this: the best way to persuade people is with your ears, by listening to them. The best way to pretend you care is to care. And I don't know if that's still exact, but basically you get the point. Anyways, Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, great book, totally should read it. Next on the list we have The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and that's by Stephen R. Covey. I don't know. I only hear their name in the very beginning and at the end, and then that's it. Stephen's 7 habits include being proactive and beginning with the end in mind. Provide a framework for personal effectiveness and leadership. Good book. I read it maybe once or twice, not a bunch of times, but still a good book, good enough to be on the list. Next we have Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Based on Hill's intensive study of successful individuals, the book outlines 13 principles, why it has to be 13, I don't know, but 13 principles for achieving financial success and personal fulfillment, including desire, faith, and persistence. Good book. worth the read. Next one, if you're looking to go into sales or even like trying to get into a school, a lot of these colleges you have to really fight and convince them to get you in. I'm not sure why, because you're just going to give them a ton of money, so you think they'd take anyways. You're trying to get into a college that's really hard to get into. Born to Win by Zig Ziglar, this will actually help you with that. If you're going in for a job interview, this is going to help. If you're a door-to-door salesman, this is going to help. I really like this one. Starting up a business and trying to figure out how to sell, this was really good for that. Born to Win combines Zig Ziglar's life experience with practical advice on goal setting, motivation, and building a positive self-image, emphasizing the importance of having a plan and staying committed to achieving your goals. Next, we have Start With Why by Simon Sinek. I found out about this guy through Dave Ramsey way back in the day when my finances were terrible and I didn't even really grasp the whole concept that your credit card money, you do have to pay that back. It's not just magic money that's given to you. Oh, the public education system. I say that because I feel like Dave Ramsey, there's a lot of hate on him, but you have to factor in the type of audience that he's talking to and where they're at in their financial life. And for them, I think he's definitely someone you need to listen to. Like, he cut up your credit cards. If you're in that world and that financial struggle, you need to kind of take his advice. And then people like Robert Kiyosaki, it's like Dave Ramsey's the foundation. Once you get that figured out, then you go to people like Kiyosaki who show you how to leverage stuff, like credit cards. For example, you pay $100 a month for power. You pay it with your credit card if your state allows it, and then you pay off the credit card immediately the same day you paid for the power with the credit card, and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, this is not legal advice. And then all of a sudden your credit score goes up a little bit, and you might even get cash back bonus points for using the credit card for buying something you would have paid for anyways. If you're thinking, oh, here's a cool shirt at the mall I don't really need, but I want it, I'll use my credit card because I get points back. If that's your mindset, you need to listen to Dave Ramsey. So you don't want to lock in on any one financial advisor or emotional advisor. You want to read as many as you can and come to your own conclusions. I know, critical thinking, crazy. Start With Why by Simon Sinek. He explores the importance of identifying and communicating your why, your purpose or cause. Simon argues that successful individuals and organizations start with the why, leading to greater inspiration and influence. This one was a little bit drier than some of the other ones, but still a good book, worth the read. One that I've listened to a lot lately is How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie. Dale gets on the list a lot, and I have a couple other books of him that I really enjoyed. But he provides practical strategies to overcome worrying, focusing on positive outcomes, and learning from past mistakes. Carnegie offers real-life examples and techniques to reduce anxiety. Sometimes some of the best ways we learn is by telling stories. When Jesus was giving his lectures and sermons, it was often telling in a story form. So learn from the best. Next on the list, we have Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. I went to a Tony Robbins event many years ago, and it was downtown, and it was when I was working like a very stressful job. It took a lot of my time, and I actually took a vacation day, drove over an hour each way, paid for parking, had to walk several blocks. I was sitting out in front of the building, and there's about 50 of us, maybe 100, and we waited there for about 2 hours. Finally, someone came out and said, "Oh, Tony Robbins canceled the event. They must not have notified you." That was frustrating. At that stage of my life, I wanted the refund. The company kept trying to push me to get another speaking engagement with him. But then at that point, I already burnt my vacation day. I already burnt money. I was upset. I wasn't going to give him more money. That being said, years go on. I'm over that. Would I go to a seminar at this stage of life? No. In the future, maybe. But his books and his lectures, a lot of them are good. Again, don't just focus on one person. You got to take a lot of varieties. There's some things I don't agree with him. That being said, Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. Now, his book offers strategies for taking control of your emotions, finances, relationships, and your life. Robbins also emphasizes the power of decision-making, setting high standards, make sure everybody knows if you're going to cancel your event. Anyways, I'm over it. And taking massive action to achieve lasting personal change. And then last on the list, we have Atomic Habits. This one is by James Clear. James focuses on the power of small, consistent changes to achieve remarkable results. He clearly explains how habits work, how to build good habits, break the bad habits, and create a system of continuous improvement. So that's my list of 10 motivational audiobooks that you should listen to today while you're out doing your work. I'll try to find whatever ones I can. They may or may not. If there's a little asterisk next to it, it's affiliated. If it's not, it's not affiliated. I just want to get these to you, but more importantly, I need to expand my library so I'm not repeating the same books, and I need to find more to add to my list. So if you have a motivational book or a self-help book that you think is good and not BS, let me know in the comments and you could get featured in a future video. Thanks for watching. Share a smile. You've been watching Crazy Nate with the Late Nate Show.